live on Twitch, YouTube, Insta, TikTok, Kick. You already know what it is. Let's get that count up. Let's get that count up. Follow, like, subscribe. Follow, like, subscribe. Yeah, we up in that count tonight. Let's ride, let's ride. Camera on, lights flash, I'm in focus. Chat blowing up, yeah, they notice. Every click, every view, I'm devoted. Stream going crazy, energy loaded. We on Twitch with a W spam. YouTube fan with the replay cam. TikTok loops going out like bam. Kick chat say I'm the man, goddamn. Notifications blowing my phone. Chat saying yo, you in your zone. Algorithm love me, I'm grown. It's my empire, my throne. Follow, like, subscribe. Let's get that number high. Streaming all night, we vibe. Hey, we don't ever die. Follow, like, subscribe. We blowing up worldwide. From Twitch to Kick, we fly. Turn up, let's amplify. Follow, 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 like, subscribe. Follow, 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 like, subscribe. Post that clip, go viral quick. Chat go dumb when I drop that trick. Content lit, algorithm pick. Brand deals hit, yeah, that's slick. Multi-stream, we stacking views. Every night I pay my dues. I don't snooze, I break that news. Numbers jump, yeah, we refuse. Ay, refresh that page, see that gauge. We up on stage, no cage, no limit, no fade. We live, we pay, we made. Follow, like, subscribe. Let's get that number high. Streaming all night, we vibe. Hey, we don't ever die. Follow, like, subscribe. We pouring up, no lie. From Twitch to Kick to Sky. Let's go, we amplify. Follow, like, follow, like, subscribe. Follow, like, follow. Hey, we don't have, we thrive. Follow, like, follow.
Step into the circle. 3 voices, 1 flame. Chaos Imp, Flafla Blublu, Lycan. Not just names, but thunder. The kind that shakes the walls of your feed. The kind that cuts silence like a blade in the dark. This is not commentary. This is alchemy. Turning gameplay into gospel. Turning banter into brass knuckles. Turning streams into symphonies that echo long after the mic cuts out. Chaos Imp, the Storm Surgeon. Slicing truth from the noise. Dropping lines heavy like anvils on glass floors. The wildfire, unpredictable, uncontrollable. Spitting sparks that light up shadows. Laughter, sharper than arrows. Lycan, the midnight howl, the pulse you feel before you hear it. Wisdom wrapped in rhythm, a voice like smoke over neon streets. Together, they don't just talk, they strike. Every word a blade, every joke a ricochet. Every pause a reminder that silence too can be louder than war drums. This is commentary forged in the furnace where chaos meets clarity. Fire meets focus where 3 legends turn contend into kingdoms. And if you're tuned in, you're not just watching, you're witnessing. You're part of the riot, part of the sermon, part of the legend that is still being written. So remember the names.
I wanted to make sure I had
Chaos Imp, Lycan.
Not just
Commentary, a revolution in real.
That's right, guys. We are back on a Wednesday night. It is the one and only Chaos M. There's one of me, only one of me. I think only the world can only deal with one of me. Let's be real. But we're back again. We are going to do a little bit of commentary tonight, and we're going to get into some. Still playing the Minecraft mod. What's it called? All the mods. But we are going to get into some commentary tonight. We're going to go over the drama that surrounds Turkey Tom. If you're not familiar with Turkey Tom, he is I'd say kind of a YouTube historian or commentary legend / documentarian, because the man puts in work on everything he does. He goes full in depth, does the full deep dives, and as WestJet, the arbiter of the unemployed, puts it, the only thing that Turkey Tom has really ever done is, he was violated by Destiny. But anyways. And then we're also going to be getting into the drama that surrounds Ashes of Creation. If you were here this Saturday, we got into a lot of it, but I'm going to be honest, I got into like a kind of a ranty Guild Wars 2 glaze session. But today we're gonna go a little bit more over the actual like technical stuff related to Ashes of Creation, and kind of how like the way the MMO genre kind of is nowadays. And then there's also recently been a new Kickstarter MMO, which at this point, I don't think people have learned their lessons when it comes to these kind of games. And I'll give my opinion more on it later, because, as I've said multiple times, Guild Wars 2, it has everything that most people expect out of MMO. It's just they're not willing to put in, and it's not even you have to put in a lot of time into the game. You just have to be willing to actually want to play the game. That would be my biggest thing. Like, and I know World of Warcraft, Old School RuneScape, Final Fantasy 14, those are all top tier games along with Guild Wars 2, but I just don't feel like it's there. Now, the Final Fantasy community, it has one of the greatest communities I can admit. I have seen nothing but a helpful, great community with them. World of Warcraft, obviously, a little bit different. It's a little bit toxic, but, there are some that do. But we'll get more into that later. Our first video we're going to go over is Turkey Tom's response to his recent allegations of being an aggressive lover, recording his spouse or girlfriend or whatever you want to call it without their consent, and just being in general a shitty person. So we're going to cover that tonight. We're going to go over Tom's video. Yes, we will be watching majority of the entire video. I have watched maybe like 10 minutes of this video. But the rest of it, I've kind of just been waiting to actually sit down and go all the way through. Me personally, I don't have any issues with Turkey Tom. I think from what I know, he's a good person, other than, hanging out with Destiny, but, people have their own opinions on Destiny. I used to be a Destiny person until he got a little bit crazy, so there is that. But, I mean, I still watch Avon preach, and they've had their run-in with Destiny. So, let's get into it. Let's jump into the Turkey Tom video.
all the facts together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me, Sacramento89, real name Rowan, and Left 4 Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip.
At least he's nice and he didn't put out there, like, not a lot of information, you know.
Forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations.
Kiwi Farms, that's all you gotta say. Sorry, Kiwi Farms, you guys are fucked.
Along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact,
and you shouldn't. I mean, like, I don't know. This is just me. Maybe in my younger years, I was into this, but like recording your sex. I don't know. This might be where people are like, you're just a prude now. I just think it's weird recording yourself having sex. I mean, it also feels like a narcissism thing, you know?
With Rowan, she was the one who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those Meta glasses when you crack me." I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time, I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So 1 whole week goes by without us talking.
He's such a sweet guy. Never filmed digitally. Yeah. I mean, it can be hacked and everything else, so...
about it whatsoever, and then on
Whip
August
out the old
25th,
Polaroid.
Rowan texts me saying, "You should get those Meta things for real." So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while," showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters.
Hey, yo, she needs to chill on this. Like, bruh, I already know bruh. Bruh, this Rowan chick already
She is.
crazy.
As you can see in the text, even when I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also, on September 8th, Rowan texts me, "I do miss it, though," in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying, "Send the videos." Keep in mind...
Hold on, what did I say? I know, I'm gonna hear it from... Hold on, let me press these buttons. Alright, here you go, people that are mad at me in my previous videos. Alright, that shit's too damn slow.
She pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also, on September 8th, Rowan texts me, "I do miss it, though," in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying, "Send the..."
I'm getting my soapbox now. I do miss it, though. Send the videos. I won't leak it or be hacked or whatever. I can send them later, though I don't want to look at them right now, or I'm gonna pop a stiffy. Hey, man's looking real.
The videos. Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, I will watch them and keep them close to my heart, clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with
Yeah,
them
little
existing.
Tom.
I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex
don't
life and my
blame him.
dating life. As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very hesitant to send Rowan any.
I mean, I don't know. I consider iPhone people a little bit evil, right? I mean, come on. Or I mean, they might even not have iPhones. I mean, they could have that like Android app. Like one of them has an Android app, and it's like almost the same as iCloud or iChat or whatever. But I'm sure. I mean, these guys are like Gen Z.
Sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured. I guess there was some lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well, and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like the like the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex, or threatening to send them anywhere, so she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I, a person who makes a living as a public figure, would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane. Not only
Well-
would that incur reputational harm.
Okay, so while I agree for the most part with this, Tom, you do have the Kim Kardashians of the world where, okay, I guess maybe she wasn't as famous as Ray J at the time, and technically Kim didn't release release it, her mom did. But still, I would say that, you know, being a public figure really wouldn't do much to affect that.
Beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms. Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was like censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it, but you can,
Yes.
I can tell the desk, like his computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly his desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like
He's
I
not
was
wrong
grabbing
there.
Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I'm too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that." Again, she texts me asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not locked in, send the videos. It will fix me for about a week. Goon sesh." This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually, or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he he never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record, and I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Okay, like, alright, I understand. Okay, so like, let's say, okay, benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt. You didn't notice until 30 seconds to a minute in. Benefit of the doubt. Why wouldn't you say to stop recording? just honest question. Like, I'm not gonna railroad this girl or go after her or anything like that. Like, why wouldn't you genuinely just be like, yo, I don't. Can you stop recording? And I know it'd probably kill the vibe at that moment or whatever, but like, just be like, yo, stop recording. I don't feel comfortable with this. And I know when it comes to women, it's a little bit different. Because women do feel a little bit more pressured when it comes to sex and stuff like that. When it comes to that kind of stuff. Just being real, guys. I know some dudes are gonna be like, "Oh, it's fucking dumb as fuck," blah 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 blah. But like, I'm trying to be real and honest here. Women do feel a little bit more pressured when it comes to certain things sexually, and I do know, yes, there are women that are extremely sexual and everything else, but like, there are situations where typically women are a little bit more pressured. Anyways.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but
Good on you, Tom.
in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming or what I'm doing.
We all know that. We all know that look. The love contracts from Dave Chappelle. That would be good. That would be good. All right, and you initial here for anal. Anal? That's not gonna happen. All right, so just plain vanilla. All right, let's get into it. Let's get them love contracts going.
Because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented to filming when she's literally holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick? In the interview, she said,
Hey, yo. I mean, man's got a point. Like, yo, alright, let me hold that phone a little while I suck your dick. But I'm not consenting to that. You know what? This video is gonna get clipped. There's gonna be so many clips that are taken out of context in this video. I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead.
says that what really concerns her is that I wouldn't send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I had asked him multiple times if he could please send me the videos, so like he's not the only one who has videos of me naked. And he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually get it, saying, I want to see them videos, goon time, before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I reply, yes, I do sometimes, actually. Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now, and then says, quote, need that big white cock. It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as,
Hey, yo. Proud of you, Tom. You getting that shout out. You got that BWC, boy.
as our videos, but in the present, she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never ask her for nudes. I say I have a bunch of videos already, and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of our text.
I mean, that's a bar right there. 100%. Man just laid it down.
And not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which...
Oh my god, this should have been a fucking red flag 100%. Holy shit. Alright, so the pros of Tom here. Sweet sometimes. Okay. No, they say you got a small dick instead. Pros are sweet sometimes, dates are nice, tries to make it work, funny, pays for meals. Oh, he's one of those guys. Makes me feel secure in muscles. Cons, chopped in the face and thinks we're on the same, we're matching looks. Cheated on an ex, follows his friends around like a dog. That's just a homie being a homie. Seems depressed all the time, no surprises, takes hours to respond. So dry and vague, rarely compliments me, doesn't leave this house, online all the time. He's a content creator. Like that's his job. No hobbies other than gym and video games. Based. Talks about other women lustfully in front of me. Based. Follows IG models and OF girls even when I asked him to stop. It's a little bit sus to be. I mean, it's a little bit weird. But, you know, you do what you do. No romance. Well, it seems like y'all are just fucking. Doesn't seem to want to support me at all in my future. Y'all have been only dating a couple months, so, like, what the fuck? Seems like he still has the same type of way, feels the same type of way towards his ex. I mean, it could be. He hasn't gotten over his ex, depending on how long it's been. Every time I bring up valid concerns, he says, I'm nice to you, though. Stop complaining. Okay. Sent dick pics to Belle Delphine copycat. Sex is all about him, so he's a selfless lover. Ran through, so he's been through a bunch of people. Looks up to Sam Hyde unironically. Whatever, based. Said he likes hurting me during sex even when I bleed. That's a little bit weird, to be honest. Seems a little self-obsessed. He's a YouTuber, content creator. That's literally them. It's narcissism to the extreme. Except for me. Doesn't ever talk about us, just him. Doesn't really seem to care about my goals at all. Well, you've just gotten together. Like, I don't know. Everything is all about him. Like I said, narcissism, YouTube content creator. I do the bare minimum, therefore you're not allowed to feel upset. Okay.
She apparently had written about me on January 4th of 2026, and in the con section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever. With that out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim that I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed. This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote, I'm such a freak. I like when it hurts and bleeds after. Something Wong. In one of her public-facing posts about me, she posts an interaction which reads as follows. She says, quote, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day, or do it so hard I hurt and bleed. And I said, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like doing other things too. The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, just super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But in
Hey, yo, don't bring Minecraft into this shit, bro. Like, come on. Come on. Leave Steve alone, my guy. Fuck.
the full uncropped screenshot, her immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm going to be freaky again. I can't resist. In the interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed the
Yes.
same? And you didn't stop?
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatantly untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day after my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass, and she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, Tom, I started my period. I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied by saying, that sucks, I'm 40 minutes away. She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword.
Gross. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime, no matter whether it was, my wife, a random girlfriend, not one of those people that does that. I think it's gross. No offense to women. I know you bleed every month for a reason. But that's a month we don't have to have sex. It's not even a month, but you know what I mean? Like, just a week or so. But, you know what I mean?
Bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before, it was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every single time. I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled.
Look, Ghost, don't be gooning, alright? Don't be gooning out there.
But even the smallest detail of no medical condition that I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me saying that she's going to switch from her current birth control, Nexplanon, to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So, regardless of sex, Rowan admittedly bleeds for an entire month at a time. One of Rowan's main criticisms is that I'm too rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he
I just instantly think of John Cena, like, looking at Kurt Angle going, ruthless aggression.
would maybe change and stop being so aggressive, because he told me before that he would like kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though
Well, okay, so here, this is where I'll be devil's advocate, or whatever you want to call it. Most abuse victims stay with their abuser, to be honest. Like, they stay with their abuser even if they're still being abused. It's unfortunately one of those things that happens and it sucks, but like if she was being abused by Tom, which I don't know if she was. This is he said, she said. And I mean, it seems like Tom does have the proof. Like, I'm not gonna deny Tom doesn't have some pretty good proof here. I mean, he's got the receipts and everything else so far. But statistically, women, well, not just women, but typically, majority of the time, women do stay with their abuser.
he was, hitting and choking and beating me.
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship, I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to invalidate their stories through my response. The real reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants.
Bro, I'm sorry. Whenever a woman says I'm a freak or I'm freaky or whatever, that should be like a red flag. Like, no normal sane woman goes, yeah, bitch, I'm a freak. And when I say normal woman, I say your traditional normal woman, not your trad wife, but like a normal fucking woman, not like some super sexually hyper fixated woman. That makes sense.
Wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded. So maybe there's something wrong with.
There is something wrong with you. Yes, there is. You have watched way too much porn. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, you have watched way too much porn in your life. Like, get off the porn websites. That's not the way sex really works.
With me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room. That's why I like you. I reply,
you're a dungeon person. What? Manhandled and led across a dark room? That's why I like you. Because you are big like a caveman. I feel small next to you. I'm tapped in my natural instincts. I'm like the main character in the crew. Jesus.
saying, "You are like a dungeon person." And she says, "You are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you." In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, "I want you to pound me." And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, "I need to get face fucked for an hour." And I replied by saying, "Damn, exams suck." On June
Oh, what woman? I feel like he's fucking a dude at this point. Like the horniness level is insane.
7th, she texts me and says, "I'm excited to get fucked borderline domestic violently." At one point in the interview, she states
Yo,
that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that
who texts this shit? Who texts this to another person?
the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says verbatim, "Sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me." She clarifies, saying, "I do like that though, even without the fighting." So at every opportunity, this girl is
Wait, hold on. What did he say? Something about having.
Right here in this next one, Rowan says, "I yearn to be manhandled. You are big like room." She acts and sensual, and I damn exams suck. 13th, Rowan says verbatim, "Sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me." She clarifies, saying,
Yeah, be nice to me. I'm a nice guy. That's some kind of loose screw you got screwed in. Bro, what the fuck? Like, what the
"I do
fuck?
like that though, even without the fighting." So at every opportunity, this girl is publicly saying, "Oh my god, look at all this horrible shit he did to me." And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once
Yeah,
again
bro,
lies
like,
about
for
weird little
real.
things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was I guess my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I
So
was
what does
very
that
confused
matter?
because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexually experienced than she really is, to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this
Yeah, I
next
guess.
post, she writes, "Again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that." So for information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual
Alright. This is bad. Don't do that. All you young kids out there, all you young people, don't do that. Alright? Get to know a person first, then have sex with them.
encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, "Rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time." My response to this is, consensual sex is good. And she says, "You know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it."
How about sex? How about just. How about just call it sex? Like, why do we call it? Why do we gotta call it grape? What the fuck is wrong with you?
So from the very
What's up,
first interaction
Kenny?
we have, she calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, "I know what you mean." And for the record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up, just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything in the woods, in case you're curious about that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where
Sure,
Rowan talks
buddy.
about sex.
Sure.
On Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free and says that she needs my, quote, "big odd dick."
Bruh. First it's BWC, now it's big ass dick. Like, bruh. Damn, Tom. Damn.
And I say, "Don't say ah." And she says, it is, and I need it. On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it.
Okay, Tom. Look, I understand this is I understand this is an opportunity for you to, like, you know, flexing your dick and everything, but, like, you could have chilled on this part, bro.
About it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like, yeah.
But here is a text message of me directly telling her, look, I'm a selfish lover. And she says, it's okay. I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak.
Look, like I said, if a woman says I'm a real freak, red flag. That's not even a red flag. That's a fucking red tapestry. Alright? It's not even a flag. It's just a full-on fucking tapestry.
Despite her acting like I am a like sexual degenerate, repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy, here she is saying, you match my freak, kind of. Not you're too freaky or we've been too freaky. She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode. In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking.
Yo, like, what the fuck? Yeah, as soon as I see you, I'm sucking your. Never mind, I'm not. Yeah, I can't say shit with this video because it can be clipped out of context.
About her pussy, and she responds to me saying, you gonna tear it up or what? Now my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow romantic candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not. Here in this next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't
I'm gonna leave church early so I can get some dick. I feel like you should have stayed a little bit later to be with God. I don't know. That's just. I don't know. I feel like you should have stayed with God a little bit longer.
I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now. And I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But the strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, I keep thinking about how hot it was.
Okay, let's be real. I'm assuming these guys are like long distance relationship. The fact that Tom has all these text messages and all these connections honestly saves his ass. Like, the fact that he has all this proof is just like, bro. Like, look at this. I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick. You know what? I'm just going to stop reading these text messages. I'm just going to stop.
Was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry. Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because it
What the fuck? That's like one of the worst things to have done to your body. Why the fuck would you want to say, like, the infections? See, this is where I'm like thinking like normal brain, like the amount of infections that you could possibly get from doing that, like, bro, what the fuck?
Causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, no, I gotta do it as much as possible before. Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July 2nd, she says, I miss that big dick so much. I'm under.
Okay, that's at least 4 times, maybe 5 at this point. That's the counter so far, so we're gonna go with 5 at this point.
spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing condoms, and Rowan says, ew, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her, and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big white
6.
cock. In this next one, she texts me saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. In this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy.
This motherfucker said.
In this next
make
one,
a
she texts me saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. In this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck?
What? Bro, this girl is beyond a fucking demon. What's up? I'm eating shrimp pasta. It's over. You broke. Damn. What the fuck?
Suck on it Friday night, which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She then says, I have the big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough,
7
in this
times.
next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting me, I hate gooner men, and then not even 1 minute later, she says, I need that big white cock. On August
7
23rd,
times.
she says,
8
whenever I
times,
wake
sorry.
up without my morning Tom face fuck, I am sad. On September 2nd, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me, but if she did, it would be an issue because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, I miss that dick so much. Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie.
Are we gonna consider that one? I need that dick as BWC. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we could count that one, right? I'm gonna count that one 9 times. Fuck no, I don't even lift. Fucking Lycan. No, we're not gonna count that one. All right, so we'll say 8. We'll go back to 8.
Ray with the caption, when it's rape time.
Why? Why use that? It's like saying Nazi. Like, you don't. What the fuck?
And after she said that, all I did was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 a.m., Rowan says, I hope you come. I got something special for our rape times.
What? Bro, she's beyond setting herself up. Like, who? I say woman because this is definitely not a woman. There's no way this is a grown ass woman. Because there's no grown ass woman that's gonna be like, yeah, let's have our rape time. Like no grown ass woman says that.
I say, change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, I know. She expands on this particular message and says, are you mad at me? I know it's consensual. So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that I've gone through a lot of our messages, I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October. This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her, and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our text day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texts me saying, you are perfect. On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out. She asked me if I got home okay, and she says that I am her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive way, and I tell her that she should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry.
Bro, and this chick drops nigga more than any other nigga I've ever met in my life. Like, not gonna lie. She says that more than anybody I've ever met.
about it and that she is beautiful. On October 8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm. She then resends me a meme that says, "Me if I do not have violent sex very soon." On October 8th, she also says, "I miss my handsome husband." Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She says, "I miss sucking on it." She then texts me saying, "You gotta start putting rape time in your reminders."
Yo, what is what what why do we gotta keep putting Minecraft into this, bro? Leave the creepers out of this, bruh. Like, leave my creepers alone.
Gotta start putting rape time in your reminders. On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out. I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, "Let me know when you get back safe." I always have such a fun time with you. On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning, and she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, "I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it." And that evening, she says, "I would kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you." I say,
What a wild statement. In or out of bro, like everything this chick says, in or out of context is just fucked. No matter what it is.
"That's true, I'm a nice guy." And she says, "Yeah, I'm the bad guy." On October 17th, we've already read this, but this
What does this bitch think she's Billie Eilish? Yeah, I'm the bad guy.
is once again where she says, "Do you ever go back and watch our videos?" And I say, "Yeah, I do sometimes actually." And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, "Need that big white cock. In the
Alright, that's 9. That's 9.
mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me." Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October 19th, she texts me saying she needs my milk right now. She then says, "I miss my..."
Okay. That's weird to me. That's just me personally. But I know there's a guy out there. His name's Tectone. I saw him react to a little bit of this. And he said that's got to be the hottest shit a woman could ever say to you. Tectone, look, bro. You're not beating these allegations if you continue this bullshit, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes. At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, "I need that dick." On October 21st, I sent her a bicep photo. She responds saying, "You look..."
Hey, not gonna lie, Tom. Like that's pretty decent, bro. You got yourself in shape. That's what's up, bro. Not in a gay way or anything like that. I'm just you putting it together. That's like I say to Kenny all the time. Like, bro, you looking great today. You know, not in a gay way. Just like, bro, I can appreciate. It's not gay. It's not gay. All right. It's appreciating a homie putting in the time and effort into his body. All right. It ain't gay though. Bro, it's not hornception. This is just like fucking narcissism. Like that's all it is. It's just narcissism.
"Good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick." She says, "I love you. You're a great boyfriend." She then says, "You never officially asked me to be your girlfriend," to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, "Text me when you get home safe," and I say, "I made it." She also texted me saying, "I love when my bed smells like your musk." On October 24th, she says, "Good night. You're the best boyfriend ever." October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a deer outfit and says, "Meow, I miss Tom's big white dick." That night,
That's 10. That's a solid 10 times, bro.
she says, "I'm going to send you ass pics tomorrow." On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says, "Next time during our epic rape time..."
Stop. Just stop. Just. You got me taking my glasses off at this point, bro. Like, just say sex. Just say sex. Why is it that hard? Pause. Why is it that much of an issue just to say sex?
You can tie me up. I say, you mean consensual sex, and she follows it up by saying, you know what I mean, Tom, rough sex. Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you now claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly.
You know the worst part about this is I'm only 20 minutes into this video, and there's another 20 minutes of this. I don't know if I'm gonna last.
Basis. Now that evening, the evening of October 26th, we can see that I hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mentioned that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th, she says that she hopes I'm doing well. She loves me so much. On October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st at 12:30 in the morning, she texts me and says, I had a nightmare you broke up with me. Oh my God. She then says that I should cut a hole in my Batman suit for my dick. On October 30th,
No, we're getting through this. We're pushing through it. We're plowing through. Pause. We're going to thoroughly investigate this video. Oh my God.
31st in the afternoon, she says, oh, Tom, I yearn for the big white cock. On November 1st
That's
at
11
1:20
times.
a.m.,
Holy
she says,
shit.
up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over. I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, you was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna kill myself. I tell her, good night, I'll see you tomorrow, and I then say, do not say anything like that ever again.
Hey, I mean, bro, Tom's just looking out. Like, you acting a little bit crazy right now, like, saying that kind of shit. But, like, I mean, that, like, I don't know, like, I don't, Kenny, Kenny's more in that space nowadays. Well, you were. I don't know about nowadays. And Ghost, I don't know about your relationship life. I've been out of the game for like almost 15 years, right? But like what I do see, and I do see from friends, if I saw that shit, like I'm gonna KYS over some shit like that, I'm running the fuck away. Like, that's the biggest red flag I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you're saying you're gonna KYS over a relationship, just get the fuck away. Get the fuck away.
Now, for a little more context on this specific message and what she's talking about here, during our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to show, as far as like moving physically closer to her. And at a few points, she suggested that we move in together, and I said, you know, it's just too soon. We're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months to move in together. So that's the.
And there's nothing wrong with that. 100%. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I don't want to move in with you until such and such time. That's setting your boundaries. That's setting up of saying like, look, we're not ready for this. We don't need this yet. Let's figure each other out and figure out what each other is and what this relationship really is. Cause like I have friends that are like, they're like in 5-year relationships now, and their spouse wants to have a kid, and they're like, well, I don't want to have a spouse. I'm like, that's something y'all should have had like an early indication in your relationship, like that's what you wanted to do or didn't want to do, because like you've wasted each other's time at this point because one of you wants it and one of you doesn't want it. So like, you're kind of indicating like you're both on polar opposites of what you want, and you've wasted each other's time. Like, great, you've had a bunch of fun times, whether it be sexual or whatever it might be, but like you've wasted each other's time essentially. Yeah, well, exactly. Like, if you're gonna have a kid, if you want to have a kid, you're going to want to have a kid. If you don't want to have a kid, time's not going to change that 100%. Like that's you're wasting each other's time at that point.
Context of this, she would constantly bring up shit and compare her.
Like me and my wife, we both wanted kids. Like I was a little bit skeptical because of like I always like self-doubted myself on being a good dad and being a good parent just because of what happened in like my past and my history with like my family and everything. And I didn't want to be a bad dad, and my dad wasn't a bad dad. It's just he wasn't like there. He wasn't there for me mentally. He was there physically, and he paid for everything. But like there's a difference. Like me now, where I'm at with my children, I'm there for them mentally. I'm there for them physically. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's different. Anyways, let's get back into this terrible gooner bait.
Herself to my ex or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like I'm dating you right now. Stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, "Mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart for you. I know this." And this carries into the morning where she says, "Hi, my sweet love." The next day,
like it just feels weird to go from like what you just said then to like, oh, I need to go to mass. That's church for people that aren't in the know on that, or you don't believe in like religion. Going to church then like literally after that situation, like that's just I don't know, it just feels kind of forced.
around noon, she says, "Sorry for being kind of bitchy. Let me know when you're on your way." I say that I have arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits. And on November 2nd, I say that I made it home. And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October. And there's no indication of any kind of abuse.
And you know what, Kenny? You know what I think about this? Like, I think about this kind of timeline. This was kind of like that timeline where Tom fell off for like a good 6 months. If I really think back to it, like Tom was like releasing like one video every month.
Any kind of mistreatment or even really anything negative. But almost every single day she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good, and she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he was locked in. Like he was obviously locked in with this girl, but like this was definitely in that era, that time when he was like he disappeared. Like he was releasing before that. He was releasing video after video, and then he just kind of fell off to like one video a month, at one video every 3 months or some shit like that. Which I mean, cool. I mean, you get your pussy, whatever you want to do. Just yeah. I feel like he kind of like he did fall off with this girl. Yeah, and yeah, he did also live stream pretty regularly too.
A few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, "I'm trying to make you nut." I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I am a sweet.
He's not wrong about that. Like, if this person's like regularly, if you're saying that this person like has sexual blackmail on you, has these videos and pictures, like why would you continue to send these things to this person? Like this, obviously, I mean, you're not forced to send these things to this person. I understand, like, if you were locked into the same house with the same person, then there'd be a different situation. But like, obviously this is a long distance relationship. You even made that obvious because you said like you'd rather him move closer to you. Uh-oh.
We're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends me a naked photo of herself, again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later, I broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie. Rowan was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship. I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce any because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey.
This is just so everybody's aware. This is the guy that owns Kiwi Farms. If you're not familiar with Kiwi Farms, it's a gossip website that regularly posts nudes and videos, sexual videos and stuff like that from different content creators. This is where all of Destiny's stuff was. Like, I don't like Destiny as a person. I think he's a terrible person, but like, I don't think his shit should have been leaked like it was. But it was leaked on Kiwi Farms. It's the same way with, like, I don't agree with what's that bitch's name? The trans person that got held at gunpoint supposedly in Canada and then moved to Ireland and was like pushing like trans medication on kids and bathtub bathtub hormones on kids. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. Mudahar even did a video on this person, but their shit was put all over Kiwi Farms, blah 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 blah. Which, I mean, Kiwi Farms is essentially just a bunch of incels that never got any pussy, and they're just looking for a reason to just spite people and hate people. Anyways, fuck Kiwi Farms.
Like, I've struggled with eating issues in the past, and I'm kind of still trying to gain some weight and make sure everything's okay. And he would tell me, oh, I love how skinny you are. I like how small you are, you know. Like, I love how your body is, like, skinny. And, like, just say all this stuff that was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious claim, and if true, what an
It would definitely make Tom look really fucking weird, but at the same time, it's a preference. Like, if you prefer women that are smaller, then that's your preference. It's like if a woman prefers a man that's a little bit more muscular or toned compared to, aka myself, a fat shit. That's a preference. Like, it's not, there's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to have preferences in the person that you want to be with. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Tom will explain a little bit more, but like, I don't know. I don't see Tom as being like one of those people that's like, you fucking fat bitch, you need to get skinnier. I don't know. I don't see it.
undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy, but it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. In this next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. In this next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good. In this next one, she sends me an image that says nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say that's a sickening image. Now,
It really is. Nothing, like, what was that? Hold on. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels? I mean, Kenny, as as a, somebody that is in the fitness field and somebody that is in the health industry. I mean, well, not health industry, but you know what I mean. Like, you're in physical fitness and trying to, better people physically and trying to make them better their bodies. I mean, like, Tom's not lying. It's sickening. Like, I don't. I don't agree with the whole anybody any size is good, but I also don't believe in the whole being skinny is healthy, but I also don't believe in the what is it, the body BMI, because the BMI can be wrong too. Like, you know, the BMI I think is like bullshit as well. Now, I will agree that like I'm like 5'10", 5'11". I'm like 5'10", 5'11". I'm like 250 pounds. Now, I'm not in great health as far as like, you know, my weight to height ratio. And I could lose the weight. And I'm not denying that. I 100% have a higher caloric intake versus what I output, right? And I don't deny that. But like once I get into the summer, I fucking shed that shit in a fucking minute. Just because I'm sweating my ass off. Like right now, I pick up the weight during the summer, I cut it off. But yeah. Yeah, as you say, Kenny, you need to eat. Starving yourself is not okay, and BMI is bullshit. Yeah, I don't believe the BMI thing. I think like in high school, it might have been middle school. They had like a thing that we grabbed on, and it like showed your like BMI, and I never understood it 100%. Like I never understood the BMI thing, and then like yeah, you know, I got a little bit older, and then I started to understand body mass index, and then I'm like, this just seems dumb. Dude, I'm considered morbidly obese. And I don't feel it. I mean, I don't feel it. I mean, you know, I'm doing 10,000 to 1,500,000 steps a day. I run with my kids. I chase them around. I mean, obviously, like, with my microphone picks up a lot. So, like, you'll like hear me like breathe a little bit heavy, or you'll hear my wife breathe from her sleeping. Like her snoring's really loud on my baby monitor. But like, yeah, like I mean, I do have issues breathing, but I also have like a deviated septum at the same time, so yeah, it doesn't help. Dude, kid lifting, bro. Like, so both my kids are like 30 pounds each, and like they like it's required. Like when I pick them up, they refuse to fucking walk. So it's like I lift them both plus their book bags, and I'm just like walking out the fucking gate, and I open the gates to get out of the school and everything, and like that's my little workout for the day. Anyways, let's get back to the top.
Now,
My
for those
bad,
who
my
don't know,
bad.
this is like it's like a pro anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say yes. Here in this next one, I tell
She's 105 pounds. Like, what, is that what that said? I'm 105. I lost 5 pounds. Not good. Dude, 105 pounds. That seems skinny as fuck. Like, not gonna lie, like I love, like, my wife is not 105 pounds. And I love the weight on her. But I'm not like a BBW guy. Okay. Maybe back in the day I was a BBW guy, but like, my wife is like right around where she should be as far as her weight, according to healthy. But like, yeah, like my wife is right. Like, she's not super skinny. She's not overweight. She's like right, bro. She's like right there. Like, fuck it. Like, I love my wife as far as like where she is as far as weight wise. Cause like she used to be like a little under me. She was 30 pounds under me, so she was like 220 pounds or something like shit like that. And she shed that weight. Like, I gotta give my wife credit. Like, my wife, she cut her weight. She changed the way she intook food. She switched up her diet. And she shed her weight. My wife, she lost a little bit in her butt, but like, it's all right. She had enough for at least 2 women, so you know.
Yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be healthy for her, as well as saying, I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I find her sexy how she is.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with what Tom said? He wants her to be healthy. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now 7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations, and she clearly states that I've never done age play. An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people: Rowan, Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for
Tom, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You need to chill on fucking, alright? You need to chill on fucking people. But also, if you're not familiar with age play, that's like, you know, you act as like a kid or some shit like that. Like, you know, as a baby and people fuck you.
for some reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever engaged in when it comes to age play is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex. It's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are.
All right, let's be real. Let's be real. Men being men. Let's be real. All right. All the boys in the chat, all the dudes in chat. If a woman calls you daddy, at least for me, it feels weird. But like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been with a few women in my past that call me Poppy. That shit got me. That shit got me going, bruh. I ain't even Mexican, but Latino. That shit got me going, you know?
We're going to see is a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done. And I think that Rowan should accept it about herself too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan stated, "One more thing to add I thought was odd. Never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car. As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff." So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing Hello Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man, and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all.
Nah, I don't think he got naughty schoolgirls in it. Well, I don't know. He might have gotten it at least once or twice. I feel like he probably got more of Rape Girl scene. Grape Girl scene, Grape Girl. Fuck, man. YouTube is not monetizing this shit.
Which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed interest in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored Hello Kitty image on her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, "No Hello Kitty?" with a frowny face, and I say, "Correct." And something interesting about these texts is that she shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall. I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphettes. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains control over her after he takes her cross-country with him. Rowan even...
Wait. Hold on. Hold on. The Lolita Express. I knew I remembered that name. That was Jeffrey Epstein's plane's name. Middle-aged professor. Jeffrey Epstein was a motherfucking professor at Harvard. Or that's what they said he was. Who was sexually attracted to adolescent girls called nymphets. Epstein Island. Was this a movie about Jeffrey Epstein?
After he takes her cross country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. In this next screenshot, Rowan asks me, if I start dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl, would you still fuck with me? And I replied, no, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive. Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room. And this next one is probably the strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel. And under it, she writes, imagine the rape here. And I say,
stop. With the rape shit. Like, stop.
I will not imagine. Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of the match because I could kind of tell there was like something weird about this guy. Like I didn't know if he was famous or whatever. And also, I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
Just like everybody.
Hold on, look at some of these, like... Some of these messages on the side. This is a child. The baby voice.
Everybody you meshed with to like gossip with, like girlfriends.
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird. So I took pictures of our match.
She's also stated repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is...
Yeah, okay, alright, I'm sorry. I'm glad he pointed this out. I'm not super into internet stuff and had no idea what Kiwi Farms is. How the fuck would you know, like... Unless you're terminally online, most normal people have no idea what Kiwi Farms is. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Most people have no idea what Kiwi Farms is. And I'm not, like, terminally online, but I do have, like, an idea of what Kiwi Farms is. All the stuff with 4chan, 8chan, and, like, that stuff. Like, obviously, like, you know, I make content, so I have an idea of what those things are. But, like, normal people don't know what these things are.
Testimony. But the wild thing about this is Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder, where she said, you have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers, but this man is a menace. I even confronted her about this when we first hung out because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she first met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago. Rowan said, oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward. I responded, that's okay.
This just screams she was looking for clout.
Okay, I was just surprised. She replied, I know I probably look crazy. I said, I mean a little bit, it's okay. I just wish you told me, that's all. She answered, I didn't want to because I thought it would be weird. I'm sorry. Kinda lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it,
Yeah,
lol.
there
I've
it
gotten
is.
better about it.
I'm chronically online. 100%. Like, there's no.
Once
no
again,
fighting
this is
it.
just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about, but it's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship looking back. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December, and that after that, she realized how bad it was, and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're gonna get into later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th, literally days later. She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again. I don't know what you want me to say to you. I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just we'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Yo, this sounds like a bitter ass ex.
Why?
Because you don't deserve one.
Like, what the fuck?
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Why?
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. He's a YouTuber. If you didn't expect I'm not saying that all content creators are narcissistic assholes, but majority of them are narcissistic assholes. And I wouldn't even say the asshole part. They're majority of the time narcissist 100%. Because you have to be a little bit, even myself, you have to be a little bit of a narcissist to sit here on camera and sit here and talk and expect people to listen to you just a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to, like, eventually once you make it bigger, obviously your ego grows and you cause yourself to have like a massive ego and you cause yourself to expect everybody to want to listen to you. I will never deny that. Like, I will never deny that I don't have a little bit of narcissistic tendencies. I do. 100%. It's not that I expect people to listen to me. It's I hope that people listen to me, and I hope people that will like want to listen to me. But like, to expect a content creator or an influencer or a Twitch streamer or a Kick streamer or whatever it might be, if you expect them to be I would say humble, but humble is not the word I'm looking for. There is a bit of narcissism related to being a content creator. Like, you have to be.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so sorry that your mom raised you. She seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other.
I don't know. Like, do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're, like, threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not.
This just seems weird, like, it just seems weird, like, the way that, like, her instant thought process is to go to ruin his ruin his possibilities of future relationships, and ruin his, his professional career. What do you say, Kenny? He seemed to give a lot of fucks that was the majority of the relationship. I I would say, as far as Tom, it's not even that he gives a fuck. It's the fact that, like, he's honest with her. Like, if he doesn't, like, agree with what some of the statements she's saying, he's deciding not to agree with it, or he's deciding not to reply to it. Like, to be honest, like, he's just deciding not to, rather than, like, waste his time. He's not even, like, why even react to it, She's definitely a narcissist. Like, there's definitely everything that she's saying, it feels like narcissistic tendencies. And, like, I'm not saying, like I've said before, there are narcissistic tendencies to a content creator. Even myself, like, I'm not, like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have narcissistic tendencies, because I do. Because I want people to listen to me. I want people to see what I'm saying. And I want people to agree with me. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't. But, like, I also acknowledge, and I'm also humble in myself, that I can be like, what I say isn't 100% what everybody agrees with. What do you say? If they can't have their way, burn it down. Yeah, 100%. Like, let's destroy Tom's career and try to ruin everything that he's built. Like, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because that's what it feels like she's doing, especially when it comes to using Kiwi Farms as her genre of where she's going to
Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me 80 times with no response.
Bro. Yo, that's kind of insane.
She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this like weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly, especially during sex. And like over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong, and he was like, "Well, you can leave me if you want." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you." That's basically what happened.
What do you say, Kenny? What do you say, Kenny? Right, everyone wants to be accepted, but it takes humility to understand we're not always right, and wisdom is wisdom to be able to reshape our views accordingly. I've had an ex like this, and like, just realize, people, I'm also like 3 or 4 drinks deep, and like my thought process here. So forgive me, I am a little bit drunk. Of course, everybody wants to be accepted, and everybody wants to have some acknowledgement from everybody around them, and that the simple fact that, like, we like, as humans, we want to be seen as somebody special in society, and we want to be seen as somebody that, like, speaks the truth or has some opinion that actually matters. But sometimes it simply comes down to you're speaking out your ass. And yes, maybe you just want to speak out your ass and you want people to accept you and you want people to be part of you, but like that's not always the truth. Like, I mean, like, look, I'm not accepting like everything that Tom says, and I'm not accepting everything that this woman says, because both of them can be in the same situation of both of them are pieces of shit. But as far as what information we have, especially Tom posting this, not screenshots, but screen captures, it seems like she's very, very narcissistic in her tendencies, and she's very narcissistic in her ways of what she believes. I will never condemn a woman when it comes to a relationship, and I will never 100% like attack a woman for what she has going on in her head. But I also will not, at the same time, I will not agree with believe all women. I will not believe all men. It's not one of those things you can do. You can't just simply believe everybody based on whatever they say. The fact that we have Tom coming out with proof, and I know we have, like another 10 minutes or so of what Tom has to put out. And I went over, I want to say Saturday. We went over Saturday or Sunday, we went over the allegations against Tom. And these are all on Kiwi Farms. Like I've said before, Kiwi Farms is one of those situations that I don't 100% trust or agree with. I don't. Because Kiwi Farms is the situation of, like, I don't agree with 100% what Destiny says. But Destiny was put out there like he was. Hassan was put out how he was. I don't 100% agree with these people because these people are gossip channels. These people are gossip places. And you can say, oh, well, you're nothing but gossip right now. You're gossiping right now. Yes and no. I will agree with you that there's some parts of my content where it is gossip, but at the same time, I look at both situations on both sides. Even when it comes to Hassan and whatever person it might be, I know I do go at Hassan a little bit harder than some of the other content creators out there. But I do, there have been times that I do agree with Hassan on what he says, 100%. And as Kenny said, yes, the head in the sand stuff doesn't go far. It doesn't. No matter what side you're on, whether you're on like the Hassan side, the Destiny side, the left or right, it doesn't matter. But let's finish out Tom's video here.
But there was no like specific, like, did you guys talk at all between breaking up and then?
Tom and I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I blocked him.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to forgive her for breaking up with her, saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages.
Wait, hold on.
Text messages.
Smash again? Bro, like, if this is a person that supposedly is raping you and being... motherfucker, I am just getting fucked when it comes to YouTube. If this is a person that is raping you and doing these terrible things to you, why would you continue to want to have sex with them? Like, look, I understand there are issues when it comes to people that are, how do I phrase this? I don't want to phrase this in the wrong way, but I know I'm sure I will. If you are a predatory, let's say predatory, if you are predatory, why would you continue to go back rather than seeking out help from the authority, or seeking out help from the police? And I know, like I said early in the video, there are a lot of women that refuse to come out because of whatever it might be, like, past experiences, or the typical issues of, like, when a woman comes out, they're not always believed. And I 100% agree and understand. Like, I do. I empathize with women 100%. When it comes to those situations that, not all the time that they're always believed. And I do. Like, if anything would ever to happen to my daughters, like, I have daughters. If anything would happen to my daughters and they would come out to me and be like, "Look, Dad, this happened to me," I would 100% go with my daughters. I'm not gonna sit here and fight it. If my daughters told me that this happened to them, and I would 100% agree with my daughters. It would be one of those situations of believe all women. But we also know that there are situations, and I'm not saying all situations or every situation, that there aren't situations of women that do lie about these situations just so they can get a little bit of attention and a little bit of revenge on this person. We kind of said this Saturday, with myself and Kenny and Fla, when it comes to some of these situations, that they're just doing it to get a little bit of attention. And I'm not saying that this girl with Tom is trying to get attention. I'm not. We only know what has been said by Tom and what has been said by the girl. Now, we do have a lot of situations when it comes to Tom of these recorded instances via text message. We do, but we also don't always have the context of these situations when it comes to what is spoken in person, because you also have to realize when it comes to these, I am going on a rant, Kenny, and you should have stopped me a minute ago. We also have these instances of people that live together for years and years and years, and they don't have these text messages and all these instances when it comes to, like, Tom's long distance relationship compared to somebody that is in a closed relationship where they are constantly living together. They aren't always there together, where they don't have these things to back themselves up. Now, I'm not saying that Tom isn't in the wrong, and I'm not saying Tom is in the right. I'm simply saying, like, there are implications. Looking at this from a third-party perspective and looking at what Tom has presented and what his ex has presented as far as being on the Kiwis Farm stream, what is being seen right now, it looks very skeptical it is looking very skeptical as what she is saying, as somebody that is trying to get a little bit, and I mean the smallest, most minute of clout from this relationship so she can start her social media career. And I'm not saying she is doing that. I'm not. But if I were to look at this from a third-party perspective, it feels like that aspect of she is trying to get because she's already said she already had a kind of a Twitter following, or a Twitter growth, or whatever you want to consider it, before Tom. I'm not saying like Tom didn't do any of these things, or he's not a terrible person, or whatever it might be. It simply feels like, to me, as a grown adult man, with a family and children, I'm viewing this as high school drama. If I'm being honest, I like the way I see this is this feels so much like high school drama, and it just feels like I'm not saying that this woman is guilty, but I'm not saying that she's not guilty at the same time. But from what evidence Tom has posted and what evidence she hasn't posted, it feels very, very one-sided at this point. That I feel like she should come out with, and I know she did come out with text messages, but Tom also corroborated those same text messages with the full context of the conversation. And I wouldn't go at a woman like there's no woman that I would go after except for somebody like Amber Heard or something like that. But like this situation specifically feels like this is an attack on Tom to get a little bit of clout. And I don't feel like this is one of those situations I would be wasting clout on. And I'm sure I'll get in my comments, you're sucking off Tom, you're trying to get clout from Tom. I'm not trying to get clout from any of these people. I've covered WestJet, I've covered Tectone, Asmongold, Nuxtaku. I've covered with these people. I'm not trying to get clout from any of these people. This is just something fun for me to do, something goofy for me to do. I don't expect anything from these people. I don't expect to acknowledge from these people. I don't. I mean, like, I do this stuff with Lycan in chat. I do this stuff with Floppa Blue Blue. He's a little bitch and he's already passed out. I do this for the fun of it. This is literally the fun for me. This is something I do for just this sheer enjoyment. Like, if I wasn't enjoying this, I wouldn't do this shit. And like Lycan says in chat, we're just observers to a National Geographic, and that's 100% true. We're just seeing this shit for what it is, and then we're commentating on it. Typically, I'd have him in chat, but, you know, obviously I just popped this chat up out of nowhere. But I do apologize for going on my little tangent here. We got 6 more minutes of Tom's video. So let's finish out Tom's video, and then we'll get to our next subject after I go take a pee. Because it's been like 2 hours and I haven't had to take a pee yet.
Texted me again and sending me psychotic text messages filled with lies that she came up with once I dumped.
You recorded other girls too during sex. You recorded other girls during like the same twin where you don't ask and you pull your phone out and record it. That's illegal, Tom. I hope you delete them because you really have some sick power thing hitting and choking women, even leaving bruises.
Dumped her. Now with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes...
Not gonna lie, you're flying all the way from California to Maine? Do you realize how shitty Maine is? I'm not gonna lie.
her time with me as the worst experience of her life.
And then you fly back, and how did that go? How long did you stay?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink road.
Clorox Katie, 100%. It's definitely one of those like fucking sus names that you're just like, you know, do I I believe this name? Like, bro.
Roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman type gooner. When asked how things
Okay, this is not the first time I've heard the Patrick Bateman thing. What was it? What was it, last week or the week before? I covered Clavicular, and he said he was like the Patrick Bateman. Like, bruh. I guess, like, checking yourself out during sex is like Patrick Bateman material. I mean, like, yeah, I know, but like, I don't know, like, bro, like, is like checking yourself out during, like, after sex or during sex, like Patrick Bateman? I mean, like, fucking American Psycho dude was like fucking crazy, a little bit crazier than you would expect, like a normal person. It's not like just some like normal, I fucked my bitch and I looked in the mirror. Because I can honestly say I've never done that. Like, I've literally never fucked a girl and been like, yeah, I'm gonna look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I fucked that bitch. Can't say I've done that. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Bro, it's not even molehills. It's fucking anthills at this point. Like, it's not even molehills. Like, molehills, they're making anthills out of molehills.
between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe who definitely was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him. He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible.
See, that's one thing I like. That's even like with the Tectone situation. And I hate to bring up Tectone again. Actually, no, I don't. I love Tectone. That man's a great guy, even with his micro penis. Like, if there's criminal actions and you can prove it, why not prove it? Like, why not put that out there and be like, look, this motherfucker assaulted me, he harassed me, he blah blah, whatever, blah 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 blah. Why not put it out there if that's reality? If it's not reality, why are you holding back? Because obviously you're holding back for a reason.
These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel them is to just look through our messages together. In these two DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th and leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, I had so much fun, Tom, you can kidnap me whenever. I feel so alone in my bed. She then says that she has to come back.
So this is the second chick that said that they want Tom to kidnap her.
Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then...
I mean, it's a legitimate question. Like, if you feel like you are being sexually assaulted or hurt by this person, why send them nudes?
Sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see.
Alright, look, I'm not gonna lie. The amount of girls that Tom has and the amount of like times they talk about his dick and needing his dick. Tom, you obviously got a great dick. Like, I'm not even trying to be gay about it. Like, you obviously have a great dick.
see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once
Man,
again,
fuck
she's
you.
accusing me of
Fuck you.
recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, I need you right meow. I need you ASAP. February 22nd and February 24th, we have I miss you and are you home yet? February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, I'm gonna suck you so good. She then says, I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex. On March 2nd, she says, I like you lots, and I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, your pussy's gonna be so sore. And Katie responds with, good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating. She then says, I'm ready for you to throw me around. Now, when we were discussing how many days she would want to stay, she says, as long as you want, and that we'll have so much sex and party so hard. And she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. her
Jesus
time,
Christ,
she
Tom.
says that she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second visit, right? Prior to getting there, she says that she is starving for me. Now, March 15th, this is when she leaves. She says, I still have her tooth.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, when a girl says she's starving for you, like, that's just my. Obviously, you slanging dick, nigga. Like, you slanging dick like nothing else.
Toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now, keep in mind, Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you say?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she ended things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when things really started piecing together to me that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like, something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her. Well, on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or are just using me. Lol. I'm just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me or...
I'm just BPDing. Bro, like, what fucking... Bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, are you diagnosed BPD or not?
or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you and I think you're cool and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially, I guess. Yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse.
Hey, he's very forward about it. And I know people are like, oh my god, you're a fucking Tom Dick sucker. Alright, look here, motherfuckers. Obviously, he's got good dick. Alright, so, no, I'm just kidding. But like, bruh, come on.
Which is probably why, after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio, where I was at the time, and I did
Fuck
not
you.
reciprocate. After this
better take your
proposition,
clip and
she
shove it up
slid
your
up on my
ass.
Instagram story 12 times over the next 10 months, and I did not slide up on her story once, not a single time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting a guy that she finds evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You got to keep in mind here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of I mean, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, "Did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls too make themselves easy targets with the hair and piercings because they have sexual trauma." She then says, "They complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes." 1 month and 2 days later, I broke up with Rowan, and in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, Tom's a hypocrite. He gooned. And you're right. I did goon. Okay. I did not stop gooning. So maybe in the end, the hat's.
All right. To close this one out. Technically, Tom, you didn't goon. Okay. You were getting pussy. Now, while I wouldn't hate on you for getting pussy, because that's what it is, I won't say he's been gooning. Like I said, I won't say he's been gooning. He has been getting pussy. I will say, Tom, from what proof that you have given and the allegations that were presented against you, and how you did acknowledge them, and then you did put your receipts on them, what it looks like right now is you, in my opinion, I feel like, not that you're innocent, but I feel like you have the receipts to back up your innocence. Now, as far as you being a gooner or a sexual deviant, I won't argue that. You're obviously a sexual deviant. Is there anything wrong with that? Depends how you look at it. I would say get yourself together as a man. Obviously, you've got money. There, you 1.6 million on YouTube, and average 100,000 plus per video, right? Let's see. I mean, yeah, you're averaging like a million per video, right? You're making good money. So money's not an issue. Just get yourself together, bro. Like, I'm not hating on you. I'm not coming at
Rape
you.
time.
I think that you need to get yourself handled. Look, I know you're younger than myself. I've been there. I have had those situations where I thought pussy was like more than anything. Like, the minute you get some pussy, you're just like, that's all that matters. Until you evolve a little bit and you realize in life that pussy's not everything. Now, it's a benefit and it is a definite advantage to life. It is. It's not the end all be all. I would say 100% look at, take a self-reflection of yourself and listen to what you personally say. Stop gooning. Stop gooning. Find yourself a good woman or man, whatever you might be. Me personally, I say find you a good woman, but it is what it is. Find you a good woman that's going to set you straight, keep you right, and keep you away from the gooning shit. I mean, as of right now, I believe Tom with what he says. I'm sorry I'm ranting a little bit, but when it comes to this situation, it's kind of serious and kind of one of the situations of like, what the fuck. But I'm not going to condemn Tom. I'm also not going to 100% agree with Tom. Will I fence sit? Essentially, yes, but at the same time, no. I think if Tom has ghosts come out of the closet or skeletons come out of the closet, that he's a terrible person. Then yeah, I'll go after him. But I mean, his current standards of what he's proven and what he's put out there, it looks like his girl's lying. To be honest, it looks like she's lying in everything she says. So I won't instantly jump to conclusions, and I won't instantly jump to he said, she said. But what it looks like currently, with the information that is out there, is that Tom is currently innocent of all the issues that are against him. And he's proven that with his information and the information that is relevant to this situation. So, I will say, obviously it's later in the night. If you are younger, stop gooning the porn. Stop gooning to women that are above your age or men too that are above your age. Control your sexual habits and find a better output for your idle hands. You know, they say idle hands are, what's the saying? Idle hands lead to devil worship or some shit like that. I don't know the specifics of it, but essentially, if you have the time to sit and masturbate, you've lost your time towards working towards a greater thing. So, and realize I want to be 100% honest with people. Idle hands do devil's work. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Kidding. Thank you. I am a little bit intoxicated. I will not deny that. But at the same time, I'm being very honest with you. I am 100% being honest with you. I am intoxicated. But I also, at that same time, my limitations and my mind are 100% free at that point. Like, I don't have any barriers of me trying to censor myself there. Younger generations, control your sexual urges. Find different outputs, whether it be going to church, whether it be reading the Bible, whether it be finding a hobby that betters your life. Go to those situations rather than sitting in these kinds of situations that Tom is in, where you seek out sexual acts. Because there's always better options. Always. Especially when it comes to a partner. If you extend the life of your sexual relationship, it feels that much better and it feels that much of a greater connection to that person. It does. And I'm not even one of those people that's super religious or crazy about it. Yes, I do believe in God, but like, as far as the religious aspect of it, have a connection with your partner rather than just being a sexual connection. Tom, seek some help because obviously you have issues with your sexual health. But I'm gonna end the video with that. seek to better your sexual health and seek to find an internal betterment of yourself. That's all I can say. And on that note, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick before we jump into the MMO stuff. Kenny, I'll be right back. Ghost Bard, I appreciate you being here. I'll be right back. some low main. Alright. Let me, hold on. I gotta check my Discord real quick. Alright, so we went from the craziness that is Turkey Toms, allegations. Let me check. Sorry, I just sent something to my buddy here. And apparently I logged off the Minecraft server. Trying to stand AFK. We are going to pop over to the wonderful Josh Strife. If you don't know Josh Strife, he covers a lot of the MMO nudes and the MMO drama, whatever it might be when it comes to MMO and video games. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Josh covered Ashes of Creation roughly 4 years ago. So, this is going to be a mix of old news and new news at the same time. Because Ashes, if anybody's unfamiliar, Ashes of Creation is dead. There's no other way to put it, is Ashes of Creation is a dead game. It was a rug pull at this point because of the way that it was managed. And there's no other way to put it. It was a straight up rug pull. The people that supported this game and put money into this game were fucked. And I do feel for these people. But we're going to jump into the Josh Strife video. And it's simply titled, "Why Does This Keep Happening? MMORPG Opinion." Or MMO Opinion.
Ashes of Creation, a Kickstarter MMORPG which raised millions of dollars through a combination of private investment, Kickstarter support, paid for early access, and extremely expensive in-game shop items and bundles, promised players a complex, deep, and reactive world, and has shut down roughly 1 month after releasing into early access on Steam. And this news has shocked absolutely no one who has seen this story play out again and again and again. Game project overpromises and raises money through hopes and dreams, people are skeptical and get called haters, then the project dies, and yet it will continue to play out again many more times in our lifetimes because the MMORPG player base are desperate, trusting, and easily convinced a bright new future lays just beyond the horizon, and the next project will be the one, guys, for real, trust me, bro. But why does this keep happening? Why did Kickstarted crowd...
What is the Asmongold saying? What is it? The next MMO player is one cinematic away or some shit like that. I forget what it is specifically. But it's true.
Crowdfunded MMORPG projects keep popping up, promising something amazing, taking loads of money off you, and then dying without giving you a game. And more importantly, why do people keep throwing money at them, assuming this will be the one that finally delivers all its promises, as if we have no precedent for what is likely to happen? Well, I think I can explain it, at least a bit of it, and it's mostly to do with how these people that support these projects aren't actually buying a game. They're putting a down payment on a potential future community which involves them, because no current community does. Hello, I'm Josh Strife Hayes. I make videos about MMORPGs. I cover everything from games which released decades ago like RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, or The Elder Scrolls Online, up to the most popular MMORPGs of today, like RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, and The Elder Scrolls Online. List hasn't changed, it will never change. But why? Why hasn't a new upstart game broken into the cycle and taken the player base away? Where is the WoW killer everyone keeps talking about? And why do Kickstarter MMORPGs keep promising the world, collecting millions of pounds of backers' money, and then not?
Like, look, I'm gonna be honest. There will never be a WoW killer. As much as all these MMOs are out here that are seeking to become the WoW killer, there will never be a WoW killer. You're never going to kill WoW unless you get rid of its audience. And that's not going to happen. Alright? as much as I hate WoW, I do. I used to be a former WoW player. But you're never gonna kill it. It's not gonna happen. It's not one of those things that you're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of it, because it's not gonna happen.
Delivering, and why will they keep doing this forever? To understand why this Ashes of Creation thing happened, and why it will happen again, we need to look at the state of the genre as a whole, the general player base, the hardcore, terminally online people who keep saying they want a new MMORPG and why they want that, and then why it seems accepted that giving millions of pounds to a project which isn't playable is fine, but if an actual existing game asked for the same things, they'd be raked over the coals. So let's look at that. As usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep this channel alive. More information on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. And let's begin with something really direct. I don't really care about Ashes of Creation. I made a video 4 years ago called Don't Believe the Hype, where I was heavily critical of the game project back then as well. I've no interest in it because I knew it was going through the same motions I've seen others go through before. I'm not saying I knew all along or I told you so, I'm saying that I'm hedging my bets based on the evidence we have. And when I heard it shut down because the director, Stephen Sheriff, was removed and the board of directors were making changes he couldn't agree with, I wasn't particularly upset. I did find it odd that Stephen has repeatedly said they don't have investors they answer to, and then the board of directors, according to the incorporation documents, was him, but actually no, the company was sold a few months ago and now they do because it was sold to private equity. And remember, the original Kickstarter had the clause, if the game doesn't release they'll refund everyone, which sounds great, and then just over a month ago the game...
I just want to point out the fact I do apologize that I'm not on camera. I do want to point out the fact that this guy's playing Guild Wars 2. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was going to say.
And released on Steam, meaning this clause is now legally covered. Awfully convenient that. It's almost like it was planned specifically to do that, but I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Look, this is a complex thing. I don't have visibility behind the scenes. For any actual sources, I'd suggest you go and watch Kira TV's video on the whole mess. He's been following this way longer than I have and has a far deeper understanding than I do. He makes videos with patience and integrity. I don't care about Ashes of
Kira's video is really fucking good. If you haven't checked it out. He does go like really in depth and takes a look at it. We're also going to be covering our Kira video later on. But when it comes to the Ashes of the Creation situation, Kira TV, he's seen this coming for months now.
Creation specifically. But what I do care about is, why do people keep giving projects like this money? Why is it a cycle? Why have we seen MMORPGs pop up, promise the world, take money, and then die again and again? Why do people point out the risks with these projects, the issue?
Because they don't want to touch Guild Wars 2, to be honest, or World of Warcraft. Nostalgia. They want that feeling of that old nostalgic MMO. And it'll never happen. Like, I'm one of those people. I love Guild Wars 2. But I've done everything, beaten everything, and I don't have anything to feel like I'm part of the game anymore.
Use the red flags, and yet the supporters rabidly defend their project, often bullying or harassing people who speak out against it. Why are people so emotionally invested in something which doesn't actually exist? To understand how we've got here, and why we will be here again and again no matter what we do, I need to say something people may not like. But allow me to explain. MMORPGs aren't good games. At least not from a game design point of view, where maximizing the fun at a moment-to-moment level is the priority. I say this as someone who loves the genre and has thousands of hours in multiple games. The moment-to-moment gameplay is mediocre at best in most of them, and kind of dull in some of them, because the gameplay was never really the focus. The main selling point was this is a virtual world. You can have a second life in it. There's even a game literally called Second Life because it understands this. While tab target combat is perfectly functional with lots of people, and action combat can be engaging and flashy and exciting, if an MMORPG released as a single-player RPG, it would likely be slated, as players would say it's way too grindy, way too many reskinned enemies or formulaic quests, dungeons or bosses. And that's because one of the focuses of the MMO is having a lot of stuff. And the easiest way to make a lot of stuff is to make the player do the same stuff a lot. Repetition and grind is kind of the point. It's a genre aiming at a player base.
He's not wrong here. I mean, like, a lot of, like in Guild Wars 2 simply alone, I had 17 characters on one account, and I had 3 total accounts. And I ground out the same shit every single day. I ground out the same nodes every single day. And I farmed every character every day. And that's what felt good about it. Especially when I was able to finish out a legendary or craft a piece of armor that wasn't as common. It felt good. But like sometimes the gameplay was shit. Like the past 2 expansions, I can say were shit.
Who like the grind. And what makes the grind enjoyable was always the player base itself. Now, this doesn't mean always actively interacting with other people. I've made a video on why many people play MMORPGs solo. I do myself many times. But it's the presence of other people within a world which makes the world pleasant to exist within. You can talk to other people, chill together, work together, or enjoy the human ambience created by knowing other people can see your achievements and you're progressing through and contributing to a world other people also love. You have value and connection, even if not actively explored. Which means the biggest strength of the MMORPG genre was the community around it. Now, playing games with other people online used to be a novel thing, and MMOs really tapped into this as their central focus, their core design. Play with other people. And as the years have moved on, that's not novel anymore. And now the MMORPG genre is trying to compete in a mechanical way against other games like MOBAs or Battle Royales, which was never really the point. The MMORPG was never trying to be the most technically advanced game, it was trying to be a digital third space, a social hangout with mechanics attached. I see MMORPGs as old-fashioned chat rooms with a game attached. And it's that community that played them, which people keep coming back for. You can endure a mediocre game just like a mediocre job because the people around you make it fun. In fact, whenever I ask someone why they stopped playing any specific MMORPG, it's very rarely because of a technical or mechanical reason. It's often because their mates stopped playing, the community dried up. The social aspect slowed down. Indeed, the MMORPG genre has had the same few games dominate it for decades, not because they are the best designed video games, but because they are the best designed communities. It's a symbiotic connection. The MMORPG game creates the community.
And like I said, Final Fantasy XIV has one of the best communities when it comes to online gameplay. Guild Wars 2 has a pretty good community where they want to help out people that have no idea what they're doing. 100%. But obviously there's going to be trolls. It's in every fucking game.
And the community supports the game. Remove one, you often lose the other. Now we have to understand, the vast majority of people who engage in a thing, be that a game, a sport, a music, a hobby, anything really, they don't engage with it beyond the thing itself. They are casual fans, and that's totally okay. People may listen to a band and enjoy the music, but anything further, such as knowing all the band members' names, their earlier works, which brand of equipment they use, that kind of doesn't matter to a casual enjoyer. That's more of a hardcore fan thing. People can enjoy an actor without knowing anything about the actor's personal life, and people can enjoy a video game without engaging with the forums or subreddit or real-life meetups of that game. And this means the people who log into an MMORPG, enjoy it, and log out are the casual fans. They aren't posting on forums or watching Twitch streamers or complaining about patch notes on YouTube videos. That's reserved for the more enfranchised hardcore. So when people tell me every MMORPG player is unhappy with the genre because they see a few people complaining online or a few people looking for a new game constantly, I have to remind people, you're only seeing people so enfranchised they actively engage beyond the thing itself. The people who are happy with whatever game they play are just playing that game. I have loads of friends who are totally happy playing RuneScape or World of Warcraft or Lord of the Rings Online, and when I ask if they would leave their game for a new MMORPG that is technically better, they say no. Not because they think the game they play already has the best graphics or the best music or the most amazing, incredible systems, but because to them, it's not just the game on a technical level, but the community and connection to the game which matters to them. So while this video is going to look into the type of people who give money to ambitious MMORPG projects, please understand we're talking about a subset of people within a subset of players within a subset genre. So we have a genre of game which often lives or dies on its community, with the people who are happy and comfortable in whatever their community is just enjoying being there. This means, from my experience of talking to many MMO players, the people constantly pining for a new MMO to come along and change things, the players most desperate to jump into something new, are often the players who aren't part of an established community in any other game. They don't feel they have a...
Yeah, because I'm sure he's gonna touch on it, but they don't feel like they have any connection to the community. They feel like they're just there playing the game. When MMO standards, you want to be part of the community, you want people to know you. Let's say Guild Wars 1 back in the day. No, this is almost 20 years ago at this point. If you had if you walked around with the title God Walking Amongst Mere Mortals, you were known. You were pretty well known because very few people had those titles. Very few people had that connection to it. And the people that did know who you were pretty well known. Me personally, I had 2 God Walking Amongst Mere Mortals. I was 15 years old. And I didn't realize it meant something. But a lot of people, I had a reputation in the game at that time.
A stable or solid guild or clanmates, sometimes even consistent online friends. They're often players who are trying to play MMO games without the support of also being in the community of those games, which means they have to judge the games not as a social hangout, but as a mechanical experience, and that's always been a weaker aspect. The players who are constantly looking for the next big thing are often wrongly convinced it's the mechanical aspects of an MMO which will then build the community, and not the players constantly sticking together and interacting despite the mechanics not being the best. This means a new MMO won't capture players by just promising new mechanics, because the happy players are content playing whatever their game is, but promising a new community to be a part of. That's a human need. That's a very attractive marketing angle. That's why we see a systemic focus on highlighting all the ways these new games will have interconnected communities and how you as a player will matter. There's a reason whenever a new MMORPG project needs funding, it focuses on marketing phrases like player-driven, player-created, skill-based, your story, guilds, clans, build your own city, game reacts to your actions, living, breathing world, non-repeatable quests, your choices matter. It's because those designs put the individual into a position of power within the game world, and being in a position of power is a strong desire for someone who wants to be important in an MMO, but doesn't feel that in any of the current ones. But then a new game gets announced, a brand new MMORPG which will change things. It will be amazing, incredible, have systems that revolutionize the genre, change gaming forever. It will be everything you want it to be.
It's always FOMO. You feel like if you don't jump on the game, that you're gonna miss out on everything.
And the people without a stable community in one of the existing games get very excited, because to them this isn't just a new game. It's a brand new chance at being involved in a community, one which doesn't yet exist and so hasn't had a hierarchy set. When a Kickstarter asks for money for this brand new virtual world that will be everything you imagine, many people who support them aren't buying a product. They're buying a dream, placing a down payment on a future friendship group, investing in a social connection they don't have or haven't found in any current game. This is why announced games have such outlandish and incredible sounding design, 1,000-player battles, unique player housing systems, reactive worlds, player-driven economies on a micro level, a future which changes based on your decisions, skill-based everything. These mechanical features are indeed something the MMORPG genre doesn't usually go for, because of the technical limitations, or the mechanical quality was never really the focus of the genre. These claims of amazing things are for marketing, to grab headlines. And
Yeah, it's
importantly,
like,
to give the
cutscene.
investors and the evangelical supporters something to preach to the non-believers about what the game will have once the game is actually made. Because saying, I'm investing in this because I want to feel part of a community and haven't found one I gel with and feel this may create one I can be involved with from the start, thus grandfathering myself into the social fabric of society within the game and being important, doesn't flow as much as the game is going to be sick because it has cool features your game doesn't have. It not only creates the us versus them mentality, but then actively supports it. This is why communities instantly spring
WoW's
up
been
around
forever.
unreleased games or projects, with people suddenly interacting, meeting other supporters, chatting via the Kickstarter comments, Discord groups which are formed, forums, YouTubers start to cover the information, communities begin to form around the game even though it doesn't exist, and anyone who is critical of the game often gets attacked by that community, because to the community that is forming, that game isn't just a game, it's the start of a new symbiotic relationship between game and community, community and game, and critiquing any part of that process is attacking the process, preventing it from happening. And the process has to happen to form those connections, to maintain them, for them to be important at all. Because the game needs to exist for their community, their social group, to exist. And if they have so much time to dedicate to this new one that doesn't even exist yet, it's often because they haven't found stability in another. The groups of players which form around a new game project and then become friends, and indeed real friends, often know on some level that the project is the glue holding the community together. And if the project fails, the friendships will fail and fall away too. Think about how many times you've had work friends, then when you leave a job, you never see them again. It's the same principle, but with a game. Connection has value, and the people who support these projects do make connections and do value them even though the game doesn't exist. And you're not wrong for valuing them. They are important things. So why does this affect the MMORPG genre and player base so much? Disproportionately so. Why are MMORPG projects seeking millions in funding often more successful than, say, a smaller single-player game seeking far less? Well, if you want me to be candid and direct, it's because the MMORPG genre often encourages unhealthy play behaviors built around spending vast amounts of time inside it, and then rewards those who have strong community connections within the games, and thus access to stable and capable teammates to complete the harder content. This leads to a group of people who spend so long online they lose or damage real-life social connections. So when those players either burn out of a game, get kicked out of their community, or leave for any other reason, you've got a subset of hardcore gamers who often place online gaming above real-life socializing, who want to spend hours and hours a day inside a virtual world, who are desperate for a new community to be a part of, and want to be important within that community. But they've already gone through the games that exist and haven't found what they're looking for, often not because they haven't found a game they like, but because they're looking to be part of something beyond a game, part of a social group. And those isolated or displaced players are willing to throw money at the potential of connection within a world which doesn't exist, a world where they are who they want to be, because it happens in the future, where they could be anything. Marketing people in the audience will know you don't sell a product, you sell a lifestyle. As a product, an MMORPG game is a fading genre populated by an aging player base. But as a lifestyle, it's still a gaming connection that people want. And selling tickets to the next big thing grand opening gala is far more impressive and prestigious than waiting for the thing to open and then selling normal tickets. People want to be at the premiere because they get seen being at the premiere, and this makes them important within the community, which will hopefully form around the thing. Consider this. When a Kickstarter MMORPG, a project or game which does not exist and is not playable, gives people the opportunity to pay hundreds or even thousands of pounds to support it, people do, and people then defend doing so. Maybe they believe in the project, but more often, I've found it's because those people are buying the future fantasy of social involvement and a community they fit in. They are buying the potential of a dream. Now imagine if an existing MMORPG offered shop options of future things for hundreds or thousands of pounds, or things which may one day exist. The communities would hate that. They'd call it greedy, a scam. They'd say, why are you asking for money for a product which doesn't exist within a game which does? And then then consider the absurdity of this. Why are people more comfortable giving millions of pounds to a project which may possibly exist than giving the same amount of money to a project which actively currently does exist? It's because they aren't buying access to the game. They are buying the dream, and a dream is always perfect. Again, understand that an MMORPG player who is just happy and content with their current game and their current community is not giving hundreds or thousands of pounds to a project promising a new one. The people often supporting these projects at the highest price points are desperate for a community to belong in, and these projects know that. Giving money to a product which already exists means facing its flaws and facing the daunting task of ingratiating yourself into a community which already exists, climbing a social hierarchy which already exists, and accepting you may not be an important person straight away. You may fade into the crowd. It means dealing with social engagement where your value comes from you and you alone, and making friends as an adult is hard, especially when everyone else already has years of connection to each other. It's daunting. If you're coming from another MMORPG that you've played for years, it might mean unlearning mechanical systems and learning new ones, the embarrassment of failure. But when a game is brand new, everyone's suddenly in the same position. You're not the new guy, the outcast, or the extra anymore. You're suddenly one of the pioneers, the founders. You're in at the ground floor. And if the community grows, you won't just be some guy. You'll be one of the originals. And that is a very attractive concept for people who don't currently have a community. But a new MMO, a brand new community, that's a new start. Everyone wants to connect. That's a fresh chance at being a someone, a chance at belonging. And if it's still being designed, maybe a chance to suggest tweaks and changes which will make it more like a game you once loved, to reclaim a level of familiarity. This is often why some of the highest, most expensive Kickstarter tiers have you designing aspects of the game. It's a way of saying, hey, not only is there a community, but you are important in it. This is another reason why so many Kickstarted MMORPGs often focus on the hardcore full loot PvP crowd, because those are often the players who, if not entrenched in a specific game long term, are so desperate to find a new community, because the games they latch onto often dwindle and die out, precisely because the design of them isn't conducive to holding a community long term. The players happy to ride the roller coaster of a theme park MMORPG, well, they're just doing that. And that's why the genre has been the same games for the past 10 years, because those are the communities which have endured, and that's why people will keep throwing money at new MMORPG projects, because those people haven't found a community they fit into yet, and the new game is promising to be just that. And that's why games almost never release, because the MMO genre is incredibly expensive, and even when they do, the community is small and often proceeds to just keep getting smaller until it can't sustain itself and the cycle begins again. Another project appears, promising another dream, and people throw money at that one too. So the next time you see an MMORPG project like this, consider if you are being sold a dream of a potential future, and then try to wake up before deciding to give it your money. I firmly believe the MMORPG genre's greatest strength is not being the most technically advanced gaming experience, but the community within the games. Mechanically, all MMOs have glaring flaws. A brand new one won't change those. And a player desperate for a new MMORPG is often not crying out for a mechanical revolution within the game experience itself, but for a community to belong to experience the mechanics of the game with. This is why you won't see a WoW killer, no matter how mechanically advanced a new game is. Because it's never been about making a better game on a technical level. It's about displacing a community which has endured for decades, which you won't do. It's why City of Heroes was revived. It's why old school RuneScape exists. It's why EverQuest is more popular than EverQuest 2. The communities of those games endured. And if you as an MMORPG player are waiting for the next big thing, maybe understand that it might not actually be a new game you're waiting for. It might just be a new community within a game that exists right now, who would love to play that game with you and help you feel involved, connected, and wanted. Maybe in the future a new MMO will release and succeed. But until then, you don't need to give your money to people selling you a dream, when there are communities in games awake and playing right now who would love to have you. Go and find a community and have fun in a game which exists. Make those connections in the present, instead of paying for a future which you may not get. Cheers for watching. Another massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who help this channel stay alive. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Insta, and our Discord, a community you are welcome to join. And as always, have a great day.
Oh shit! I forgot I was playing Minecraft. But alright, stream. I do believe I'm gonna end it there. It is close to 1 o'clock in the morning. I will be back tomorrow. We're gonna get into a little bit more gaming tomorrow. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Appreciate Kenny, Ghostbird, you guys hanging out and be a part of the stream. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys have a great Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow.